for the Jewish program here in the Jewish website. Today we have a new artist, new treasure that Mr. Pablo Quiroz found. I mean, he's in Mexico and he found her in Poland. I had heard one of her songs, very punky, very feisty, but I hadn't heard all her music. You will be able to listen to the music because we're placing all her links in the program so that you can see them, click them, listen to them, and enjoy them. We have here María Ka. María Ka from Poland. She was born in Poland, Krakow?
In Bielsko-Biała. I was born in Bielsko-Biała, but I lived in Krakow for...
in Poland, the smaller the town, the larger the name.
That's true.
It's like with the surnames. The longer the surnames, the larger the ego sometimes.
Yeah,
but it probably depends on the nationality and the tradition within.
Yeah,
where is that little town where you were born?
In southern part of Poland.
You know Hrubieszów?
Pardon?
You know Hrubieszów?
Hrubieszów? Yeah, sure.
Okay. You know Helm?
Yes, of course.
That's where we come.
Oh, the Ajzen's come from there.
Have you been in Helm?
Yes, yeah, I was there.
Have you read the stories of Helm?
Yeah. And well, lots of there are two different, I would say, sides of the stories of Helm, because one is like Helm, the Holocaust story, and the Helemer Yid, like in this whole Helemer, like a Yid from Helem, yeah. Like a jokey Jewish.
Just so that you know, this week we are remembering the Holocaust of Helm, the destruction of Helm, which was the 22nd of May in 1943. And that was the creation also of Sobibor, where the Jews from Hrubieszów were sent to, together with from everywhere else. Do people today remember anything or care about anything in those places?
Yeah, I would say so. Well, I visited Helm when I studied, so it was quite a long time ago. Yeah, well, I think there is, maybe I'm not a representative, usual everyday person living in Poland, because I completed my Jewish studies and I do have the knowledge. But I would say that thanks to lots of great people that educate other people on the history and basically Jewish culture and everything, I would say that the people that want to have a clue do.
So how did you find your clue? How did you find out you were Jewish? Because post-war Poland was not a very friendly place.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't. It's like it's a bit vague in my family, in my story. So the story just it pauses at one point, and the documents vanished because of the war, and then lots of people didn't want to talk because of the trauma and because of the circumstances around. And in Poland, there is this also the part of the history that I think that some people from abroad sometimes are not aware of. So, this Jewish people being involved in Communist Party. And this was very difficult, I would say, that, people like usual regular Polish people had some problems with that. So this is like this difficult part of the history.
Yeah, I feel so sorry for the regular Polish people. You don't know how sorry I feel for them. Poor people. After being Nazis, they were so afraid of the communists. But yeah, well, that's another story. We constantly speak about Poland, and Poland was also the land of democratic socialism, and the normal Polak worker was the one that didn't follow and went to the right instead of to the left. But anyway, we're not here to talk about Poland. We're here to talk about you. So you didn't tell me, why did you find your Jewish roots in a place where it was so necessary or easy to just forget them? You could be so happy by just being Maria.
Well, I think that, the heart knows and the heart follows. If you just listen to it and if you just follow it and if you just immerse in some inner voice that just urges you to do certain things and to follow the path. I did a certain research, and this research was tough because of some traits or hints just being just vanished. But and just on one stage of my life, I decided to enter the Jewish study faculty on Jagiellonian University, where I started learning both Yiddish and Hebrew. But my heart was always on the side of Yiddish. It was somehow easier for me to pronounce this language. I just felt this language. This is not. I would say this is not a matter of logic. It's the matter of the feeling and the heart. So I just followed this language. And firstly, I sang already existing Jewish songs, so traditional ones. But I was not klezmer. I was never klezmer. I mean, the whole instrument.
We can hear that. Yeah, we can hear that you've never been klezmer. Which is your favorite song?
Like from the traditional, already existing? It's a difficult question because in all of my avant-garde electronic electropop style, I already recorded a decent amount of some already existing Jewish songs. But I would say Jankoye is one of my favorites. I like also Papyrosen, Die Mizinke, but I switched the perspective in the Mizinke. So the bride sings the song, not the father. And these are pretty much my favorites.
You are a staunch feminist. I can see that.
Yes.
You know that the YIVO has a complete program now currently going on women poetry and women's work in Yiddish. And in case you want to find new roots and new material, YIVO in Chicago and YIVO in New York have a lot of work lately, are doing a lot of presentation about Yiddish poetry. And also, if you haven't read it, maybe you should get this one. In New York. In New York, it's Meslavtes in New York. Und es ist sehr gut und hat das Sachmaterial beim Freuen auf Yiddish. So.
Ich versuche.
Ja, no, ich will dir schicken da ist der Adresse. Und ich will dir schicken noch einmal. Und du kannst schreiben zu sie und sie will, und ich will euch jetzt schreiben zu sie. Sie das wissen von dir und du das wissen von dem. Ja.
Wunderlich.
Für dein Lieb soll nicht denken. Ja? Anyway, so you've been presenting your stuff in Poland. Who comes to your concerts?
Well, basically, the context, I would say, is also important because mainly I present my material, my music during the Jewish festivals in Poland. So, the audience that comes to Jewish festivals is is very much into the culture and they want to get to know it. But there was one event that I presented my material. It was called of Poland, like Polska's of Poland, and it presented Polish bands that play alternative music, and it was a strictly Polish festival, which was every time such thing happens, it warms my heart to the fullest because I want to go with my Yiddish music to Polish media, to Polish festivals, and that happens. And it's really, I'm very grateful, and I'm very happy about it, because playing Yiddish music within the Jewish circle and within Yiddish circle is, of course, very pleasurable, and it's very nice. But what I would like to do, I would like to also show Yiddish to a non-Jewish audience during non-Jewish festivals, and that's why I always attach the translations to my songs, to make them communicative and to make them understandable. So yeah, I played mainly during Jewish festivals, but my music is also present in Polish media, and I'm very thankful to all these Polish journalists that make the space in their broadcasts, in their programs for my Yiddish music.
Before we continue, we need to make a little break, and I'll come back in 1 minute. Please hold on for us.
Okay.
We'll be back in a minute, okay?
Sure.
Janet, vamos a tomar 1 minuto, por favor.
Ok. Hola a todos, no los había saludado.
Hola. Janet, ¿tú estás en Ciudad de México?
Yo estoy en Tijuana.
Ah, en Tijuana, ok.
Sí. Hi, María.
Hello, hi, hola. Hola is the only Spanish word I know.
It's okay, don't worry.
Oh, it's also tapas.
Tapas, okay, yeah, that's a good one. But I don't know who will have the best beer in the world, Poland or Tijuana.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Have you been in Tijuana, Maria?
Yep.
No, I haven't been to Mexico. I haven't been there.
You should come once.
Yes.
Or
I
twice.
would love to.
Not visiting Cancun, rather Tijuana or Guadalajara or Mexico City.
I would love to visit all of them.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, I met Daniel last year in San Diego. It was great. We actually went for some bagels, pastrami bagels. I don't know. I got a lot of fun with him, but my real boss is his brother. Isaac.
Okay.
Isaac is located in Mexico City. I don't know who is crazier, Daniel or Isaac, but okay, Janet, just okay. There is my sugar. I'm sorry, you're here.
That's why we do breaks. Now, let's take it over. This won't be an easy edition, but let's take it over. How come you have no family? You are old enough to have a family. You've been singing all over the place. You have a very nice face. You look very sweet and very nice when you sing. Even when you try to sing angry, you look like smiley and bubbly and so forth. So what happens with the Polacks? We need to send somebody over there, or?
It's like we are the creatures of choice.
Okay.
And oh yeah, that's a good commentary. That's why she's happy. A good one.
Okay. So let's leave it at that. What's your dream, next objective?
Well, after the whole work connected with promotion of my newest album, déjanos, which is basically on, and which includes loads of interesting talks and interviews and talks with people like you, which are very pleasant. And so this is probably going to take a while more because the album was released on April 20th. That album dedicated to invisible women's biographies, which was recorded with my band during the mass women's strikes in Poland in 2020. And it was additionally the pandemic era, so everything just...
You have our address.
Pardon?
You have our physical address. I want you to send us one copy of each one of your records as soon as possible to here to the States.
Okay.
At least one, if possible, send two, but at least one hard copy of each one of your records, of your recordings. And if you can, send two so that we can distribute them to our office in Paris and see what we can do.
Okay, sure.
Okay. And you deal, if you are the one who is in charge of your own presentations, then send me all the contact information about you.
Mm-hmm.
You can actually write it here in WhatsApp now if you want, or in the chat in the program, and or included with the records so that we know whom to call in order to hire you for contracts and presentations and so forth. We will develop once we have the records, we will develop a page for you in savethemusic.com where people where we will link it to whatever websites you already have or pages on etc. But we will promote you under Save the Music so that people know, people get there when they are interested in Yiddish music. So it's already a filter. So when they get there, they should meet you, they should meet your music, and they should be able to hire you right there. So send me all the contact information, both personal and place it personal, email, phone, etc., the address and so forth, and the artistic information for people who want to hire you and or your band.
Okay, sure, thanks. I would maybe just through the email or something like this, it would be easier.
Yeah,
because
Yeah, and of course we can share
our
also on
email,
social media.
our email is very simple. You can see it here, Daniel. Well, you cannot see it because it's not there. Janet forgot to write it in there, and I didn't write it either. But it's Daniel@diariojudío.com.
Okay.
And you can send everything there, or Daniel@savethemusic.com. It's the same thing.
Okay.
We will receive it on both sides, and we will promote it on both media.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, and to end the English segment, Pablo wanted to ask something.
Yeah, well, and of course, just let me put in also in this moment the occasion that we can share also on social media of Diario Judío everything that you want to share us about your music, any other release, and if you are in a new platform, of course, we will be really, really honored by having more of your music on your talent. Now, actually, I was reading your website and actually, and I was playing your music at the office. It was great. But as you mentioned, of course, this is not klezmer. This is punk, this is Yiddish, this is rock, this is electronic. This is something that will sound and vibe in new generations and current generations. So Poland is moving in some internal struggle, more about in relation with women, because nowadays Poland is not in the best advance of women rights and equity. So what can you tell us about the relation between your songs, your music, and your activism in this particular topic?
Well, I would say it's very connected. I mean that from my first solo album, Die Rumike Welt, the song we already heard, I composed a piece called Sha Woman, Isha Freu. So it was already written after some strikes in Poland, but these were only just these were pre-strikes, I would say, because the moment of the mass strikes was the moment of October and November 2020, and the moment of which I recorded déjanos, my newest album, with my band during this period. And in between the recordings, preparations for the recordings, I just went to these strikes because I also remember the very moment when it all began, because it was the worst birthday ever I have ever had, because it was on October 23rd. It's my birthday. And then this was the day when the Constitutional Tribunal in Poland announced that they are going to restrict the abortion law even more. And then the strikes began. And then it was also the pandemic era, as I mentioned before. And I'm very much involved. Well, right now the situation is like the same. So the law was published. It's existing, and it's also influenced my closest friends, because two of them were in the situation where when they suffered because of this law. Well, I'm very much involved in I'm very much involved in women's stories, her stories, and like making women's stories visible in the public space, because of the thousands of years where women were invisible. And that's why my newest album is dedicated to. So all the invisible women's stories that are not commemorated in any way, they just vanished. They just went through ages unnoticed and not commemorated. So this is like the topic of my life, I would say.
Now, Maria, let's imagine you're inviting us to to any festival. I don't know, probably in Wrocław, Warsaw, I don't know, somewhere in Poland, and we attend. Then you start your moment, and before every song, I can imagine you explain why are you singing that song, or why are you playing that song. Is it difficult for the Polish audience, not dividing them in generations, but is it really hard to explain from your heart, to explain from your feelings, that this song is not just playing something in Yiddish and in modern tones? It's something that has to be linked with the current situation about rights of women in Poland?
I would say it depends on the audience. So I would say that younger generations are more into it. Like recently I played a solo concert, like it was a closed solo concert, very cameral. It was very nice. And I also presented my contemporary stuff, so the electronic stuff, Showwoman piece, and Krankheit also, like all my electropop electronic stuff. People were interested, and of course I described these songs before playing them. But then, that I also presented some traditional songs like Dziękuję or Die Muzinkę, and people were already, yes, they were into it. So I don't know if this is this klezmer vibe of oompa oompa, like bam bam, or people are just different, and they are. Well, I would say that people who are immersed, even that if they are not Jewish, but have heard Jewish, like stereotypical, traditional Jewish music, they already know it. So they are very much into knowing something different, getting to know something more contemporary, modern, I mean, because of the music styles that I perform. It can be very much resonating with young generation on the whole. So with people who listen to rock, punk, electronics on the daily basis, my music, even though it's in Yiddish and even though they don't understand a word without reading a translation, it can just resonate because of the music style, I would say.
And finally, what would be your message for readers, listeners, or viewers of Diario Judío in America, in Mexico, in Latin America, everywhere where they are watching us right now, especially women who are fighting for their rights. I mean, in Mexico, we have already reached many rights, and we have the need to protect them. It is not just like someone signed that on a paper, and then magically everything becomes better. It doesn't happen like that. But what will be your message to all these women in particular, and also to the people that should care about these rights and the power of the music as a part of the revolution, but not in a violent way. This kind of revolution, it's because we need to get a better world, just like Tikkun Olam, reconstruction of the world. Nothing else, nothing more. So what would be that message from you?
Keep on pursuing, keep on searching for the power, even though within yourself, even though sometimes times are tough, and sometimes you feel weak, and sometimes you feel exhausted, because it's like a loop in my music. It's like an electronic loop that you have to repeat certain things, because it doesn't click, and you don't accomplish it for the first time, but for the 10th you do. So I would say keep on going and keep on pursuing, and search for the power inside, and search for the strength inside, because I believe in the strength of humans and women's inside in particular.
I think that one of your best songs about what you just said would be Wenn es regnet. And let's finish this program with that song so that people can listen to Wenn es regnet, when it's raining, which so clearly reflects everything that you just said. And after that, we'll come back just to say goodbye to everybody. Lista, Janet?
That is good.
Żywioł
let's allow everybody to listen to the song later on the links, so that they have something to do on the links. I think that the message was clear and nameless flow. Okay, it was very clear and it's very good. And you were very clean when you did that song, that's for sure. And I think that you have a great message, you have a great voice, but more than anything, you have a great imagination and very good feeling for acoustics and graphics. And I hope everybody will enjoy your music as much as we did. And let's go on with this communication that we just started. Send us what we ask for you, and let's see how we can help you to bring your voice and your personality to more people. And thank you, Pablo, for bringing.
Dziękuję, Dan. Thank you. Gracias.
Gracias. Muchas gracias. Dziękuję. Ajzen dank.
Yeah. I was about to ask how to say it in Polish, but I really don't want to say it in Polish.
It's similar to dziękuję. It's dziękuję.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't. I thought. Well, I never asked what dziękuję meant.
Well, dziękuję is the name of the town
Of
in
the
Crimea.
port. Yeah, that's right.
And some people in Poland think that dziękuję, the name of this Yiddish song, means Polish dziękuję. So a dank.
Okay. You know
what a thankful song.
You know what this town in Crimea was used for, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they built Birobidzhan, and I just got to meet people here in San Diego that come from Birobidzhan.
Nice.
They might be the only one. So, well, one day when you have nothing better to do, go to Jankoya, take a train, and go to Birobidzhan. That would be quite a trip.
Yeah, but maybe when the time will change, hopefully.
Yeah, it would be a difficult trip today. So anyway, next time we'll talk about different issues. This time we want to thank you for your time, for sitting with us, for your music. And I want to congratulate you for everything that you've achieved, for everything that you're doing. And maybe we can do something to help you come someday to Mexico and the US. And that would be a great pleasure for us. So thank you, Maria. Thank you, Pablo.
Thank you.
And I'll see you again soon here in Diario Judío and Judaísmo Hoy in the letter que Maya. Bye-bye.
Ajzen dank. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.